Hello. I'm sitting right in front of a window, and when it's bright outside, these windows really wash things out. And I don't really have. Maybe that'll help a little bit. We'll see. Ultimately, it's only so much I can do, you know? Try to cancel it out with a little bit of background light, but I don't know how much that would help either. Alexa, turn on Duo. Does that help balance it out at all? I don't know. It's gonna have to do. I'm only gonna paint for a little while. So, I haven't done a new mission yet on Frosthaven because yeah, I didn't do it yesterday because I was too late to get downstairs. I didn't want to be up too late, and I'm not doing it today because I'm too late to come here. And I had to get ready. I have company coming over later to watch the football game, so I have to, kind of be. Actually, I only need this. I was going to put on my chat, but I guess I don't need it because I have chat right here. So, anyway, let me grab my magnifiers just a minute and get some water. I need more of this water stuff, because you cannot make dioramas with this tiny little bottle of water. Not big ones. This guy's not even that big. I mean, he's big base, I guess, but it's not like. It does kind of level out, but it's a little tricky to get it in front here. Don't want to get it on the crab unless. My goal is to kind of cover the bushes and all of the base. It's pretty good. He won't be going anywhere. And what's it like if you can you play with these figures? I hope so. I don't know how hard the water base gets. And it's like I'm wondering if it's, is it playable? Is it going to be firm enough to handle it? Probably not. It's like, okay, here's a guy. Can't touch him though. Don't whatever you do, don't touch this guy. I pick him up, but again, I don't really have a good way to pick it up. See, this is the crab I'm working on, and I'm trying to put a water base on him. So you can see this is all water basing, and then I decorated the um, the bottom. So we'll see how that comes out. That's all I got right now, though. Anyhow, so let's get some more paint on some Frosthaven, guys, shall we? It's I did last night. I did some priming, and then I started getting some paint on this girl, the Deathwalker. You can see she's mostly just primed right now, mostly blackish from the bottom, but on the top you can see she's a more gray. And I started painting the staff and the base a little bit. That's pretty much all I've done. So we've got to come up with a decent color scheme for the rest of her. I mean, as a Deathwalker, you'd think black is a good color scheme for her, right? But maybe not. A dark color would be good. Wait a minute. I grabbed... I guess I didn't. I thought I grabbed my magnifiers. They probably just backed up. Hopefully my mic's working. Yesterday I did this and somebody told me my mic wasn't working and I had been on for 20 minutes or half an hour or however long it was. So that wasn't too good. You can see my mat might be drying out a bit. Alright, I think it's all nice and wet again. If I have extra, just pour it out like this. It's not much though. Soaked up all my extra water. So it was pretty in depth. Pretty dried out. Nope, not gonna work. Let's just do this the old-fashioned way. Hey Martin, how you doing? Wow, really? So now you're gonna make me look bad, huh? You're gonna beat it in one try and go, that wasn't so hard. I'm gonna go, whatever, man. You even use the same items. Wow, you went all in. Well, how'd it go? Or are you still doing it? Still working it? If you succeed, I don't know, man. You're all I can say is you're definitely luckier than me. One, the 2 time, is that first? Is that supposed to mean the first time? Did you accidentally typo there? See, See, a lot of the problem for me has always been, oh, 2 times. You won it 2 times. Well, that's still pretty good. I mean, oh, you won 2 times. Wow, that's really good, man. I'm impressed. Uh, I don't know what to say, man. You are skilled. I can't, it's like even when I wound them, I get hit and I get beat up. I don't know. You did pretty good. I'm impressed. I wish I could say, oh yeah, but you only get to use that maybe if you're lucky 4 times in the whole game, and that's still not great. And then on top of it, you have to be near the guys, and you have to get the shot off. Yeah, so you have one guy doing all your wounding, but you get to use it maybe 4 times. And for me, I just never had it when I wanted to use it. It's like I had to get Royce next to the guys to make the attack, and I don't know. I wasn't able to pull it off enough. I'd get it, maybe fire it twice, and then I try to use, because you only get to wound one guy, so you have to be going fast. My problem was I was never going fast when I needed to be because the wound doesn't happen. Well, the triggering does, but the wound itself that you want to put on somebody doesn't happen unless you're going fast. So I was either never going fast when I had to be because I couldn't. I try to go fast as often as possible. But yeah, I just could never get enough shots off with that thing. And, timing and where I was and whatever. And then, of course, Adrian didn't do squat. One of the things I am starting to do, I mean, what the last couple that I've done, and the Bone Shaper thing, with when I played Bone Shaper with Adrian, um, that one kind of started teaching me a little bit. One of the things I haven't done, like you said, is go fast or go slow in initiative on purpose. I rarely did that. I usually only went slow on initiative because I always wanted to beat the robots to a location. But and sometimes it seemed like every time I'd go slow to let the robots move, they wouldn't move. It's like the last few times I played, it's almost like I don't know what's going on. I play, and the guys are. I plan this attack. All right, they haven't moved forward in a while, so I'll plan it. I'll let them come close to me on the next one, and I'll pummel them. I'll come up and I'll finish them. I'll get a good hit on them, and then they don't move. And then the next time I'm close, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do a big hit. And they put up their shield, their 4 shield, which a banner spear, none of my guys can get through 4 shield unless I crit, or have a strength of banner of strength. And even then, it's rare that you get through a 4. So you basically have to waste that turn. And all too often, every time, these last few times I've played, I try to plot a big attack and they throw up the 4 shield. And I couldn't do the big attack. Or they would they wouldn't move when I needed them to, or when I needed them not to, they would attack. It's like it was every time. It didn't matter. It's all I need is them not to get a crit. That's all I need is for them not to get a +2. It's like I don't know, man. I won't say that you're lucky for winning. I think you're probably good and you really know what you're doing. But what I would say is I'm very unlucky. These guys, like I said, I cast a banner, and on the first turn, the only thing that can kill a banner on the first try is like a +2 hit or a crit hit, and they get the crit hit, kill it in 1 try. And I'm like, how does that happen? And it's happened to me multiple times. I'm not talking about just once, where I cast a banner, and on the very first attempt that these cannons or the tanks make, I'm okay. I can get them out of the way. All I need is 1 turn, and they'll be fine. And they get 1 turn, they move faster, and they blow it away. And it's like, I don't know, man. There's some fishiness going on, man. I think the Holy Spirit is messing with me. It's having a laugh at my expense. I don't know. But I don't know. It's so yeah. I think, and even to this point, I believe it's possible, and you've proved it. You've proved that it's possible. Yeah, but see, that's just it. The other enemies are never but nearby for me. It's like the cannons are far away, and usually I can kill the incoming ruined machines or keep them at bay. I'll focus on them, like you said, when I can. But yeah, I don't know. I've tried the wound thing. I had them all wounded, but I still ran out of time. I killed them. I killed the cannons. There were a couple of ruined machines left. I was trying to do. I was down to like one cannon and like one or two ruined machines, and I had pretty much won, but I ran out of time. I ran out of actions. See, that's part of the problem. More than three quarters of my losses haven't even been. It's just I ran out of time. I couldn't kill everything in time. So yeah, just the fact that you were able to get through that and get it through with the number of actions available, I'm impressed. That's a good deal, man. Congratulations. So it's good to know it's possible. Maybe not for me, because the game hates me. But for everybody else out there, you're probably in good shape. Just follow the wounding plan, which I agree with. I definitely think that's a good plan, and I think it was one of the few that got me really close to the end. So yeah, I believe it's possible for most people. And the fact that you did it twice and two times without losing, that's even better. I mean, man, that's you got it down. Because every time I try to do it, I everything would go wrong. So good job. Because it's like in the first 5 turns, you can only use Sands Through the Hourglass, and you can only use it once. So for 5 turns, you get one shot with that, and that's not great. You know, that's you've only got maybe 10 more turns, and the next 4 turns you get one more shot with it. You know, assuming you don't lose it, but through randomness, but you shouldn't lose it, right? You can always take a damage, so you can get 2 shots in the first 9 tries with that thing, and you have to have the setup that lets you hit guys that aren't wounded. See, that was always my problem. I'd wound 1 or 2 guys, and then they'd be the ones in my way because I couldn't kill them. I couldn't hit them to kill them, and then I couldn't get my shot off on somebody else when I needed to. So it's like I need to get the 2 big guys with the wounds. I need them to get them close. So then and then after that, you get maybe 3 more turns before you can use it another time. So it's like, the first 12 rounds, you get 3 chances to use that card, and you have to get it on the right characters. And while you're doing that, not get shot to death by the cannons, because I get the cannons doing their hardest hit on me every time I was within range of doing the hardest hit. They do the 3 damage hit. 3 damage, 3 damage, and then sometimes they double, and then when they do a 1 damage, they do things like ×2, or which would ×2 or +2. +2 is actually worse for me because my guys are immune to ×2, and it turns it into a +1. But they would turn the ×2 or a +2, and they would just keep hitting me, and it's like I got to get rid of those cannons because they're beating the crap out of my guys. And then so I'd go focus on the cannons, and I'd kill a cannon, and I don't know. Like I said, things just weren't lining up for me. The stars are not aligning. You know, in that many tries, you'd think. But one of these days I'll beat it, if it's not by sheer force of will. Odds say at some point things will go in my favor, but obviously it's actually quite easy to do. You've proven that, because you were able to do it 2 times without a loss. It's good to know, man. It's good to know it's just me and it's not the game. I guess I can't complain about it anymore. Huh? No longer allowed to complain about the complexity of the game, because you've proven that it's actually pretty easy to do. Good grief. Wow, dude. Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, yes, you have a lot of experience, and that's, you're right, that does help. It's the simple fact that you were able to get, I mean, it's like I kind of knew the plan, and I know these two guys now. I mean, by now I know what they have. It's like, so it's no longer a matter of inexperience. I know these characters, and it comes down to, at this point, how much the skill level, or not the skill level, the cards, playing the cards right. And yeah, I suppose having that experience helps, but and to a point, it'll help way more than a person walking in there for the first time. But I've played this scenario 11 times now. And, well, not all with the same two guys anymore. And granted, 5 of those times I played it wrong, so there's always that. I mean, so my first 5 times were screwed up. Well, not the first 5. The first 4 times were screwed up, and then what did I do? I did something else wrong later. Oh yeah, well, no, the thing I did the next time was just screwed up in my favor, and it still didn't help me. But no, so 4 times I played it wrong, and then beyond that, I don't really have an excuse, except bad luck, bad play, bad strategy, bad execution. I don't know, but well, it's good to know. That means I have hope. One of these days I'll win, if by no other reason the whatever's messing with me will get bored of me. I'll go, all right, go ahead. There's been ones where I came out the gate, there was one, I came out, I destroyed a cannon, I wounded both of the robots. I was like, hey, I'm in good shape. And I might actually win this. I blew away one of the robots, killed 2 cannons, and I was like, I can do this. And I was actually in pretty good shape, went all the way through, ran out of life, died. I pushed down, went after the cannons, killed off the ruined machines, almost were down to like 1 health. I mean, they weren't going to make it to the plate, but just ran out of life. Could not kill everything in the time it took. It was nice. It's fun. It was a good feeling. And with that, I go, oh, this game is definitely beatable. And then I lost like 4 more times in a row. So yeah, don't know what it is, man, but I'll win eventually. Because I might stop streaming them though, because I think people are going to get bored of watching me play the same one. I'll play it until I beat it, and then I'll just do a recap next time I stream it. Nobody wants to watch me play that 27 times. I finally won because the draw finally said, okay, I've had enough of watching you play this too. So, but then I'll start streaming again once I get back to something new. Pretty sure it's people don't want to watch me keep doing the same one over and over. I'm playing it different, at least. I'm trying it with the next time I'll be trying it with the Bone Shaper and the Blink Blade. I've already tried it with not the Bone Shaper, the Death Walker. And that'll be interesting. I think the Death Walker will be an interesting try. But I can only activate 4 guys because there's only 4 decks. And if I activate more than 4, I have to actually kill off one of them, or not kill off, abandon one of them, because you can't have more than 4 decks because there's only 4 decks to play with. I think I'm gonna go blue with the Death Walker. I heard that about Gloomhaven. I heard that it got really easy for them. Yeah, a lot of people say that, but again, I've played it enough times where it shouldn't matter anymore. It's no longer a matter of experience. I mean, like you said, we know what cards is going to work. What cards will get you going. I mean, I know it's the wounds, right? The wounds make a big difference because you're trying to kill guys that have too high of a defense. But if you don't get those wounds off, and like I said, I get like 3 to 4 tries with wounding, and if I don't succeed every time I do it, then it's all downhill from there. And then what the problem is for me is like, okay, go after those guys, put wounds on them, and I focus on them to get their wounds on, and meanwhile the rune machines go 3, 3, 3, 2. It takes. I've had the rune machines in at least one of my scenarios where they went 3 the first 3 times they went and won the game, because they just went 3, 3, 3. It's less than 9 spaces, I think, to the center. And I was trying to do something, they came out 3, and I was like, okay, well, it probably won't do 3 again. 3. It's like, oh, well, they're right next to the gate now, so I had to drop everything I was doing, run to the center, and they just went 2 and went right in. I was able to stop one of them, but the other one got there. It's like, I says, okay, well, I can't stay back and focus, so I got to kind of move forward a little bit to be ready. And then they'd sit back, and I said, all right, good, they're sitting back. I can focus on these other guys. And then what happens is I don't have my guys in position to get the runes on, or wounds on them. Or sometimes I'll get the wounds on, and then I'll run up to go kill the rune machines, and then those other guys come up behind me and block off the way, and the other rune machine goes around the other direction, and I can't get through them. Even though they're dying from their wounds, I can't kill them. I can't speed up their demise, and they block me out until the other guy gets to the plate. So on several attempts that I've tried where I focused on them, got the wounds down, they lived long enough to screw me up and not keep me off the plate. So that was another problem. So yeah, there's a few issues that have come up with it. It's like if I get one part succeeding, the wounds, I fail in blocking them from the plate. Or if I block them from the plate, those guys block me from the other guys, or some dumb thing. It was always something. I don't know, I just haven't gotten the math down yet. But again, you're right, playing a lot helps, but I think once you've played the same scenario enough times, it's no longer a matter of experience. I know what cards work. I just can't get them to fire. I'd get them in place, but something else would go wrong. The robots would do stupid stuff like move 3 or get crit hits, or they just always seem to be able to outsmart me, man. I'm probably just complaining. I mean, I'm complaining, yes, but I mean, it's just, what can I say, man? I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm glad to know that it's possible, though. And yes, I agree that people should. In fact, I was talking to Martin last night. He's a guy who's come and watched a few times, and he said he and his wife are playing, and they're like level 4. They just got started, but he says they're playing level 0, just so that they can, get through the things and not have to be tortured by it. But plus you have played a lot of Gloomhaven, but again, unless you know the scenario, unless you know what you're up against, sometimes all right, so you know how to use your guys, you know what works once you know them, and that's good. But strategically speaking, if you don't know the scenario, it's not always that easy to transfer that knowledge. I mean, in some scenarios it is, but you kind of know the basics. Wounds are the way to go when you have big guys you can't hit. But I will keep trying. Because I am a glutton for punishment. And yes, I believe lowering the level could get through it better. But also it's like, I shouldn't have to. I mean, I understand. I can see going up a level making things to be hard. But the base level should be challenging, but not impossible to win. Or they should have levels for different numbers of people in your party. Complexity levels. I mean, that's more complicated to come up with rather than just a generic, this is how you do it. But I think 2 players is harder than 3 or 4 simply on the fact that you've got a lot more possible strategies. So if you're playing with a team of 4, I bet you this game isn't that hard. I'd be willing to bet, even though that the characters are harder and there's more guys on the board. Simply put, you have more people available to you. You can redirect guys. You can get around a lot of the you can get around a lot of the characters' abilities. You can distract the robots. You can have guys. I mean, there's just a lot more strategies involved that allow you to progress. And I don't think. I bet you it's just not that hard. I bet you. Well, I mean, it's probably challenging, like I think it should be. But I would just think more people, more attacks, more options to coordinate, more variety of attacks. So you have more options of things to be in place. Like the Bone Shaper would do better in a group, not because she can't do, because she is less likely to be targeted. When you're talking about a character that wounds herself all the time, she can't afford to ever be the target of an attack. She has to get her guys up and keep them alive, which has a better chance with more people to take targeting. Um, the Any character that's going to be under constant threat of attack is going to struggle, especially when they only have 6 health and they have to wound themselves to do anything. The Bone Shaper, I think, is really a cool combo with Adrian. I think it could be good, but at level 1, she's just really got a weak. She's just glass jaw, and she has no real way to heal herself. She has like 2 healing abilities, and they do like 1, and you have to really coordinate how you're going to figure out when to do the heal. Um, I like her. I just think she'll be better when I can get her to level 2 or something. Even level 3. Just get a few more hit points on her so she can do more. Um, I'm excited to try the. I'm excited to try the Deathwalker. She's got some good potential. Yeah, I can see that too. If you're planning to hit the same person. Um, but remember, you don't need to have perfect information, but you can coordinate. Okay, so you don't want to have perfect information because it's not against the rules, but it's not recommended. It's an option to have perfect information when you're doing teams. But you can say, all right, who's going for the big guy? I'm going to go for this guy or whatever. You got to coordinate some amount, so that you can minimize this stuff. Or certain guys that are fast, you say, all right, fast guys, you go attack from behind. You get yourself out and back as quickly as you can. We'll take care of these guys in front. These slow movers. The Adrians and the um, we'll call it the Adrians and the Tenyas. That would be the Bone Shaper, and the characters that move crappy, like the Banner Spear and the Bone Shaper. I think the Deathwalker probably moves pretty good because of her ability to teleport. And she has a lot of abilities that put her stuff on the board. Granted, they're not attackers, so it doesn't take away targets. But she doesn't have to hurt herself to do things. So she's only 6 hit points as well. I think they made the Bone Shaper really, really at risk by making her sacrifice herself so much. I mean, she can heal if her guys are in play, but when you're playing with 2 players, the Bone Shaper has a hard time healing at all because her minions her summons are always under attack because there's not enough other targets on the board. So the monsters only have so many options. It's either her partner, or her summons. And the summons, they have 3 hit points, most of them, or less. So they're not easy to put up. And yes, you can put up the defense, but that buys them 3 turns, maybe. And I have the cloak thing that protects them once too. Well, gives them a shield. It gives them a couple of shield values to work with. Does the Deathwalker have a tail? Is that a tail on her? I think that's a tail. Huh. Guess I didn't notice that before. Yeah, I saw that. When I was studying her cards the other night, I realized that she has to get those things down and basically keep casting them. Whenever chance she has, she needs to put them down and use the abilities that keep putting those on the board, because her whole thing is about using those. And some of them go away, some of them will remove those tokens, and if she wants to be able to advance and utilize them for things, she's gonna have to drop those things constantly. So it's like, put them on the board, move on, put them on the board, and then utilize them. But it's going to be a lot like the Bone Shaper, in that in order for her to succeed, she needs to have her minions on the board, but she also has to heal herself. And she can cast, like, at 6, she can cast 2 summons. That's it. And then she has to try to find a way to heal herself. She can't really manipulate her summons all that much because she needs to heal herself quick so that she can be getting another one out. And then just having those out burns her cards. Yes, she gets more cards than everybody, but they're out, and she's got these cards out that are absorbing damage for her or her minions or summons, whatever. I call them minions, but so she does that. She goes in and summons, puts some of those cards out. Now she's got 3 or 4 of her cards are just sitting out there. They may not be lost cards. I mean, she'll get her summon cards back, and she'll get some of her cards back that she has in play, but most of them. But either way, she's got 4 cards oftentimes sitting out of the board. So whether they come back or not, there's definitely a limit there. She's got a weird outfit here. What is a Valrath? Is that just a Gloomhaven / Frosthaven character? I mean, race, or is that a D&D race? I don't know what a Valrath is. Where does that race? What is that race? Where does it originate? not location, but you know what stories or books. Yeah, true, but you also got to consider some characters don't heal well. Actually, strangely enough, certain characters are just more rounded. Okay, Adrian is a support character as a banner spear. Yes, she can hit hard, but really, because she can't get up there fast and she's got banners that are supposed to help and support people, she really needs to manipulate. She needs to work with her allies and support them, keep them alive, keep them going. And that becomes a problem because she can't just heal Adrian, right? Because Adrian, being a Blink Blade, is freaking all over the place. Now he can heal. Adrian's got some pretty good heals, but range wise, he can generally heal himself. So he's actually able to support himself pretty well. Now she's got regroup and a couple of skills that gives her the ability to do some healing, but she doesn't have a ton. She doesn't. Well, the problem with her is she doesn't have top and bottom options. I mean, her bottom is move or summon. Pretty much all it is. Bottom is move or summon. And there may be a couple of minor exceptions, but that's it. Move or summon. And it's not both. You can never move and summon. Her top is generally attack. Attack and or act, doing something. Maybe she can do a heal, range, whatever it is. That's all her top. And the thing is, if she does not have an ally available, she often has nothing more than a basic attack, except her range. Her range attack is her. She's got the javelin, which is a decent hit, and it can infuse the wind. So her thing is get that javelin thrown or used, infuse the wind, and then you have some more range attacks that allow her to attack, or even just attacks that can utilize that wind capability. So you got to try to use that stuff. And she's got like one attack that can do wound, but again, she can't use it unless she's got an ally nearby, which means she either has to have a banner or somebody who's going to provide cover, or you have to keep Adrian nearby who can't let him run off. But it's like you need to get the wounds down, so Adrian just runs off, goes get wounds on people. That's his thing. That's like hit him, and don't waste any time sticking around, man. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Bone Shaper. I like the Bone Shaper. I also think I might like this Deathwalker character. Who was it? Oh yeah, the guy who was on that last night, Martin. He and his wife were playing a Bone Shaper. They chose Bone Shaper and Deathwalker as their two characters. They're only the two of them. They're only doing two, but like I said, they're doing level 0, and so it's not terrible. But still, that's an interesting combo. Two characters with very little health. But I think they can kind of do pretty good, maybe, together. Because it's like the Deathwalker doesn't have to run off. She can do her shadows and just keep pushing shadows out there. Now the problem is if they don't have stuff on the board, they are the targets, and being targets of, they'd have to firstly kill off those cannons quickly. At least in this scenario, they'd kill the cannons, at least those two nearby, so that they couldn't really be an easy target for anything. Then kill those cannons, then she can push the shadows forward, and the other girl could try to use her summons. But again, like I said, they're playing level 0, and it's kind of a necessity, I think, at that with those two characters. Yeah, but how does Bone Shaper heal? Bone Shaper doesn't have that. Well, that's not true. I guess she's got good healing for other characters. She doesn't have good healing for herself. So other characters have to heal her. Again, though, they have to be in range because a lot of times those heals are within range, within 2 range, or within 3 range. You can heal your allies. It's like, yeah, but not everybody's in range. Like I said, Royce doesn't get healing very often from Adrian because he's always too far away. I mean, I try to keep him close on occasion if I can, but it's like you can't wait for stuff. I mean, I guess you can. Maybe I need to do, like I said, that's one of the things I'm learning to do more of is wait. And by wait, I mean take a long turn. And it is nice that a full heal. Maybe there's times I need to do full heal. I haven't been doing full heals at all. And I always think, well, it's a lost turn. But it really isn't because you don't lose the cards, right? Because you don't have to play a card when you do a full heal. You just get them back and you get a break and you get your heal and your items back, which is important. And maybe if you're waiting for those bad guys to move a little closer, they'll come closer. Now, hopefully they won't come close enough and smash your face while you're resting, which is one of the problems of full healing. You've got to get in position and hope you can deal with the other guys. Because that is one of the things they do. Is like oftentimes for me, I'll do something that I need just a moment's breath, and you try to heal, and they just crush you, doing more damage than your heal did, more than your heal recovered, and then that's not helpful. And there's times when I need to get my items back, and I just but if I do that, I'm gonna lose a turn. But I need to do it more often. More thinking. The two things I don't do, and I probably should do more of, is heal, or take a full rest to heal. And the thing is, the last few times when you do a full rest, it's always like right in the face of the enemy, right? And these guys do 3-4 damage. So what my logic is, if I do a full rest and heal for 2, do nothing, they basically get a free shot on me. And those big robots, they do 4 damage, 3-4 damage every time they attack. Unless you get lucky, which I don't get lucky. I usually get unlucky. I need a round of breath. And they go, oh no, you're not getting no round of breath. I'm going to hit you as hard as I can. Of course you are. But I'm like sitting there going, okay, as long as they don't get a ×2. But nope. Or the one time I get shields on, the other day I did something that gave me 2 shields. It was two shields against range. I said, oh good, I'll have a little protection. And then they of course draw the one attack that does piercing 3 range. So they not only hit me, they went right through my shields and smacked me anyway. I was like, what the frick? It's like they have one attack that does that. One attack in their deck that'll pierce. And it's the one time I actually get shields on to protect me against them. So yeah. Or I get a pierce 2, I get a pierce 3 attack, and they put up their 4 shields, so they still reduce my attack. It's like, okay. That's another thing that's happened to me. It's like every combination of things that could possibly go wrong do. At least they have been. You were trying to, what are you going to type? Ought to be? Yeah. Yeah, and then it probably type or what it corrected you to out. um, Yes, he should be. And I need to have a talk with Royce. I'll have Cesar have a talk with him. Cesar can talk to. Have you watched any of my recent streams where I introduce Cesar, the bard who's with them all the time, and has he's the storyteller who goes with them just to watch and chronicle their journey. He's the guy I made. I gave the excuse to why they keep getting back to town after being knocked out. I had to come up with something in my head that let me justify these trips back to town between scenarios. Now, I don't go back every time, but still, I had to come up with something. Oh, I will. I mean, I'm not gonna stop playing the game. I just don't know if I'm gonna keep streaming. I mean, I probably will. At least when I try different things. I don't know if I'll keep streaming this scenario until I beat it. I will play it until I beat it because that's me. So you might not see me for a while once I stop, because I think constantly restreaming the same one over and over again is going to get boring. I mean, no, people will stop watching. I mean, I have surprisingly enough, I have people watching all these streams of mine, which surprises me that they keep coming back when you keep doing the same one over again. I'm hoping to get. I will do it. I'm going to do it with the Deathwalker. Like I said, I think Deathwalker might actually complement Royce, and that's what I'm hoping for. Because since she can do stuff at range with her shadows, I'm hoping that I can make her do something. But yeah, the problem is really Royce is the one with all the wounding capability. I mean, it seems like everybody else has like a an ability to wound, but not like what do you call it? Not a significant opportunity for it. I think I saw the Bone Shaper or the Deathwalker had a wounding thing too. So Martin, are you a football watcher? Do you like watching football? I asked Ivan that last night when I was doing this, and he was talking to me, and he says, "Nah, he's not into sports at all." He said modern sports or traditional sports. I don't know what that means, but I would imagine that means he watches some of the off. Oh no, he said he watches some esports and stuff like that. Oh, you're not a football player, a watcher either. Yeah, I'm a pretty big football fan. Unfortunately, my favorite team, of course, has been doing terribly. You could probably guess who that is because I'm wearing a T-shirt related to them. Um, but still, I do a Super Bowl party every year, and I have friends come by, and we just kind of watch the game and do a potluck, and watch commercials and watch the game, and yeah. So I'll probably be. So I obviously won't be doing this all day. Game probably end about 6:30. So there's a pretty good chance I won't be able to stream today either. Uh, I don't know. Coming up with times to stream. Plus these um, scenarios take a long time, at least for me. How long did it take you to play through those things when you did it? As you know, though, watching me stream, I talk and digress a lot. I mean, I get off topic and And that probably doesn't help the time it takes me. Even when I think I'm going fast, I still end up going kind of slow sometimes. And if I want to do a stream or do a scenario, this scenario, even though I know this scenario like the back of my hand now and I can play it over and over and over again until I figure it out, it still takes me 2 hours at least to play through it. This girl's kind of weird. Why is she carrying around a pot? She's got like a pot under her arm. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring my pot of honey with me. It's like, is that what she uses to trap souls? Yeah, well, yeah, I ignore loot unless I happen to be on top of it at the end of a turn. I don't plan to get on top of loot or go after loot. Yeah, at least not in this scenario. Um, so yeah, there's some. It's kind of one of the necessary problems with that one, but it's all right. But you did it in an hour, freak, dude. How you must have really been hardcore focused. Focused. Even when I'm playing super fast, I think I can't come close to an hour, dude. That's awesome. You must have been serious speed playing. Of course, I don't know. Maybe streaming just takes longer because I tend to talk to the people who are watching. But still, I feel like I still focus. I'm a little AP though, which is weird. It's not weird that I'm AP. I tend to be AP anyway. But I've gotten better over the years. But I'm still when I play board games with friends, I they I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I'm still pretty bad. And then when the deck is, I get more AP when things aren't going my way. It's like, oh, it's got to be something I can do to figure this out. It's like I'll keep trying to figure out some solution to get past this problem. But oh well, yeah, and I usually have it set up when I start now, but still, I don't ever get it done in an hour. I've at best, I think I've done maybe the only time I get it done in an hour is when I lose. Like, well, they'll get to the plate, they'll get to that pressure plate, and like the last couple of times, I keep getting blocked out by those big robots. It's like when I played with the Bone Shaper, the big robots would just go to the middle and stop. They would just happen to come in and then they would just sit there. They'd do stun or their big hits or their shield up or the big hits. The last time I think they did shield up twice and attack twice, and they just sat there. They didn't move, and then I got close because I had to go try to block their friends, but they got in the middle of the board where you can't really get in the way, And the two guys came up behind him and just walked right through their friend onto the plate. Because, you can walk through your own characters, so the enemies can walk through each other. And that's what they did. They walked right through onto the plate. The last couple of times I've been beaten it's because I can't block them. I can't get into a position to block them. And that's what happened. The big guys just blocked me, and I couldn't get around them. Hey, but I did get something for Adrian. I went back to town this last time with Tenya, and okay, so I've done this 11 times, but I have not been keeping my experience every time. I'm not going to do that. It'd be stupid. It'd be middle of next winter before I finish, and the game would be, it would have advanced into how long, and I'll never know. So I've gone back to town, I think, 3 times in my attempts. Once to go get Tenya, and once to go back with her. So I played Bone Shaper twice, and I only kept to the experience once with her. That was the second time when we went back to town, because we're going to go back and get Royce, and Royce is going to go out with this girl who I haven't given a name yet. And then, so I only go back to town if I'm going to make a change in something significant. I'm not going to go back to town every time. And I'm not going to keep the experience and just keep doing that. That's dumb. I'm just going to keep restarting. I know it's not technically the rules, but 11 times is silly. I'm going to be doing 12 times, 13, 20. If I beat it on my 40-second try, I would have already ended the game in terms of clock time. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. But simply knowing that it's possible will make me keep going. Now you've locked me. It's your fault now that I'm locked into the level now, because now I know it's possible, and there's nothing. I'm not gonna oh well, I guess there's no reason for me ever to change now. He's proven to me that it's doable, and I'm gonna keep trying until I do it. I'd like to just prove that it can be done. I'd just like to get it done in an hour like you did. Wow, if it was only going to take me an hour to play through, I'd probably have done more. I'd probably have tried more times already. But I will say this: if not changing, I am losing. I think I'm losing focus, as in I'm playing worse, because I'm just making mistakes. I did one the other day where I was doing good. I mean, literally, I was doing good. I had almost killed all of the creatures. I had like 2 dudes left, and I had 1 guy left and a cannon, I think. But Royce died, and I'm like, how did he die? I feel like he was like, Adrian still had like 6 cards left. How did Royce run out of cards? I was trying not to even use. In fact, in that whole game, I was trying not to use any of the perma-loss cards, but somehow I actually ran out of cards with him, and I'm like, what the heck? How did I? And I started thinking, I'm like, did I put cards in the wrong pile, or accidentally discard too many cards? I don't know what the heck I did. Something was broken in that scenario. I thought maybe I'll go back and rewatch it, and then I did. I turned it on, and I didn't really pay attention. I was too distracted by other things, so I didn't actually see if I truly did make mistakes on that one that lost me cards unnecessarily. I think ultimately I did. I was hoping that was one of those scenarios where nobody actually watched, so I don't know if nobody was there to tell me, dude, you're putting cards in the wrong pile. So there was nobody to put me on the right track. It felt really weird though. I was like, how did I run out of cards? I don't understand. And that's when I knew. I says, you know what? I think I need to change. I need to change strategies, change characters, do something just to make it more interesting while I keep trying this. So that's when I did my starting character preliminary review where I went through all their cards and just kind of said this is what they probably do and who they might pair up well with as far as Adrian and Royce go. But there's most definitely a solution of some kind there. You've proven it, so good job. Now I just need to get that done. I know, but fun for me is accomplishing it under the rules. If I had lowered it down to easy peasy, I would not have fun with it because I know I'm playing it on easy mode. I don't like playing games on easy mode. Because to me it's like, well, what's the challenge in playing a game in easy mode? There's no savoring a victory like that. It's like I play decent chess. I play a lot of chess, and I'm a decent chess player. Not a great chess player by any means. But I'm pretty good for average. But like, it's not a lot of satisfaction in me beating a person who's ranked, under 1,000. I can play them. It's fun. I'll play a kid and beat them just because they want to play, and I'll play with them. But it's just as long as they're having fun, I guess. But it's no real satisfaction in me to beat them. And for them, it'd be a big deal to beat me, but it doesn't do me any good to beat them. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I could beat them, but that's not, doesn't mean anything. So I got to play it on the level that they prescribe. And if it's truly been balanced the way it should, then it should be beatable. I just don't think normal settings should ever be so difficult that you need to have everything go perfect. For example, we know that wounds are probably the solution because it's the only way you can get through their armor. But really, I mean, that really limits how other characters could do things. If you don't have wounding capability, you have to be able to beat these guys by beating them down. Now, I have done some big hits and taken out those big robots. I mean, I had Adrian got her big level 2 hit off on one of the big ones and crushed it, did 9 damage. And he had a wound on, and he was dead in like 2 turns. I don't think he ever got to attack. And so yeah, you can do some big hits on occasion if the stars align. But and I think it should be possible to just beat the snot out of these guys. You should not have to. You should not have to only do it with wounds. It should be something. I don't know. I feel like even D&D, there's usually multiple ways to kill a guy, even when they've got immunities and resistances, and there's different kinds of attacks and different kinds of strategies that could possibly beat certain characters. And I just think it shouldn't be that difficult. But again, it's not fixable, right? Game's already out. It's not like you could change rules. Even if they came back and go, yeah, this is probably too hard at this level, all they could do is adjust and say, okay, well, you can do this or do that or whatever. But so it's not really, it's a fixable thing. So it's ultimately it is what it is. And if I want to play it, I got to do it under the rules that they've derived. And I'll do it. I will. I mean, I'll get most of the way through it. Hopefully I'll stick to it. I like it enough. So how did you play it if you don't have your version? What did you do? Just mock it up? Just create the download the cards and come up with a playable version? How did you do that? Oh, yeah, I guess you could. I have Gloomhaven here too. Haven't played Gloomhaven yet. I've thought about playing it just as a change of pace. You know, kind of throw in a Gloomhaven campaign too. I got a couple friends who are sort of in a way interested in playing, and I was thinking, well, maybe we do Gloomhaven, but they might want to do Frosthaven. I don't know. It's kind of hard to play. Like you said, these games aren't really designed to have two campaigns going at once, though. So you kind of have to commit to one option or the other. I used to do that with Pokemon and Magic, where I would create print proxies of cards because we didn't want to buy certain cards until we play tested them and make sure that we print them out, create decks, and then play with them. And if we liked the deck, then we'd start looking about trying to get the cards because cards are expensive, so we had to first make sure it wasn't going to be a waste of money before we'd get the cards. Because we used to go play tournaments, my sons and I. They still go to tournaments. They've been traveling this year to go to regional Pokemon tournaments throughout the U.S. Some serious dedication going on there. We used to travel to regionals, but we'd go to like local, the close ones. They've been traveling, like they went to Quebec and they went to Texas. They've been all over the place. I'm surprised. It's expensive, but yeah, if that's how they want to spend their money, I guess it's their choice. The older of my sons, he can afford it. I mean, he's got a decent job, and that's what he puts his money into. It's just his recreation time. My younger son, not so much. I don't know how he's doing it. I think his brother's paying for a lot of it, and then he has to pay him back, so he's in debt. Which I'm not totally sure is a great idea. In fact, I'm quite sure it's not. But what can I say? They're adults, or at least they're of legal age, anyway. Therefore, they do what they want to do. Thanks, Martin. Hey, you have a good one. Whatever you're doing today, have a good weekend, man. Thanks for stopping by. So I was listening to the commentators talking about the football game today. Yep, like I said, I am a football fan, so I'm going to talk a little football. Um, Being a Bronco fan, I obviously have to root against the Chiefs. That's like football fan 101. You never root for your division rivals. So doesn't matter how good they're doing or how good a particular player is. You just sorry, man. You're in our division. I hate your guts. It's automatic. So if a good player moves to another division and another, even a better yet, another conference, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll be a fan of you or your team. It's like I was never a Chicago Bulls fan. I gotta say, but I didn't have a disdain for him, and I also like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a great player, man. It was fun to watch him play. He was amazing. But it was not. There was no rivalry involved because he was not connected to anybody I liked. And my team in basketball, I might as well stick with consistency. I'm a Denver Bronco fan, so obviously I was a Nuggets fan just because I have family in Colorado, and I figured, well, let's pick the Nuggets. And I don't really watch basketball that often, to be honest. Basketball's not really, and to be even more honest, I don't really watch much of any other sports. I used to watch tennis a little bit because I used to play a lot of tennis. I love playing tennis. It's a great sport. Great condition. You have great conditioning sport. Fun, very technical. I was a decent player. Wasn't great. I mean, maybe 3-0 some day. I think at my best I was maybe 3-5. But you can get worse by not playing. So I'm probably take me a little bit to get back into the swing of things. Literally, if I went and played again. Probably be something in the get going. Probably quickly get back to 2.5 rating. Those are just the way they rate. Like a professional, something in the 5+ area. They don't really go up past 5. I think technically, once you're professional, you're just top. You're considered at least a 5.0. And so. Anyway, I think I got to about 3.5, which is maybe good. And it's fun when you play at that level. The games are really interesting. You can get a lot of very competitive matches going, which is definitely fun. You're getting some good serves. Both of you are jumping and diving at serves. I mean, not diving, diving on pavements, not so great, but you know what I'm saying. You're lunging at them and trying to get back serves, and you get some good serves. The really good servers though are really tough to play against. And I was a decent server, but I wouldn't say I was really good. I was getting to the point where I was able to control where the ball went, which made a lot of difference. Decent speed, a little bit of a curve, and it made it so I had a chance at the start. So I could win frequently at that level on my serve, but then the other guy would serve, and then I'd struggle. And so it was always really close because we'd keep winning on our serves. But anyway, let's listen to the commentators of the football game here. And I don't know. I know the Eagles did really well this year. And, of course, so did the Chiefs. But since I don't watch a lot of the NFC teams play, I was trying to listen and learn a little bit about the Eagles. What's their strength? What's their selling point? And apparently it's their running game is really good. So that'll be interesting to see. And they have a really good defense too. I'm not sure about Brandon Hurts as a quarterback because I don't know much about him, but it sounds like he's not in the same league, obviously, as Patrick Mahomes, but the rest of the team is well-rounded and might very well be able to offset that problem. Kansas City, on the other hand, is going to try to, they're going to need to stop the running game and make Brandon Hurts play above his skill level as a quarterback. That'd be interesting. It's good because you want to know kind of what it is you're expecting to see, you know. If you're going to watch a game between teams you don't really know much about and haven't watched many games of, you got to kind of at least try to know a little bit about what you're going to be watching, right? We always do like a football poll if we have enough people. We'll just have to see. See how that goes. Football pools are pretty fun, you know. Try to get $5 or $10 on the line for a chance of winning 10 or 20. Well, she definitely needs some paint on her collar here. She looks like she's probably a tiefling. She has a good design on her face. Her face is very detailed, unlike Royce. Oh, Royce's face is terrible. It's like, I mean, like when I say terrible, I mean terrible. It's like there's like no detail. You could barely see the eyes if they're even there. Maybe I'm just imagining them. It's just that bad. Royce is the blink blade. So yeah, it's these minis are, you know, they are adequate. But some of them are better. This one's actually really good, to be honest. I mean, I did have to do a little bit of work on it as far as shaving it off and that kind of thing. Trying to just try to get some areas that I might have missed in my first pass on this color. I was thinking I could go with dark skin, or maybe go really super pale, like white skin almost. That would be kind of weird, huh? Pale skin, what do you call it? The Asian, like their faces are painted white. Because she has that kind of face, the face that kind of looks like a, I forgot what they're called. I don't even want to guess because probably insult somebody if I guess. Uh, Trying to decipher where some of these are the weird straps coming down, and where some of them are um, the underground, the undercloth she's got underneath her. So the undercloth I'm doing in this lighter color, but which is weird, I know, because it might look fine, but it's hard to do. People usually do dark colors underneath because it makes the tops easier to do. But I'm not people. I tend to swim against the grain, swim against the current. It's just like when I play Frosthaven, it's like everybody says, go lighter, go easier, use this skill or that skill. And I'm like, but I don't want to be forced into I don't want to be that guy who has to do something a certain way. I don't think games should be that way. So I'm going to beat it my way. Well, I should probably go up and start prepping my quesadillas at some point. Yeah, I'm doing quesadillas for the party. Chicken, I do have chicken and frijoles. And what else do I have in there? Cheese, obviously. A little bit of salsa and some taco seasoning. That's my those are my quesadillas. Then I sometimes I'll make them like quesaninis. Use a panini maker on them. But sometimes that takes a little long, so I'll just take them and stick them in the oven, which comes out about the same. But quesaninis, you butter the tortilla, so they're a little better because you got butter on them. Who doesn't like butter? So I'm getting quite a bit of paint on her, really. I mean, usually I don't get this much done. on a character before I play them again. So yeah, it's actually surprising how far I've gotten with her. My wife's getting all ready for the Super Bowl party. I feel guilty actually down here painting. I mean, I did do some stuff earlier, vacuumed and did some things like that, but I feel like I should probably be doing more. So yeah, should probably go back up and do my part some more. Don't know what else to do, to be honest. I was like, is there anything else that really needs me? Some people aren't even football fans, but they'll watch the Super Bowl just to watch the commercials, which I've always thought was funny. I like the commercials. I mean, they're usually pretty good. That's where they spend their money and try to be, they really put some effort into the commercials most of the time. Kind of have to, because you're paying a boatload of cash to be in the Super Bowl with your commercial. And it's like, you probably should make an effort to make sure this is a good commercial. And so I kind of understand why people would want to watch. But they actually have shows dedicated to the commercials. I mean, that's what they are. They're just all about the commercial itself. I'm like, really? Silly. Now she's got this. She's got this bronze or this armor on her. Should I just go with outright gold? Should I just go glorious gold and make it stand out like a sore thumb? It's really gold. I was thinking more bronzy, but I think I'm gonna go bronzy. It's too goldy. Maybe I can use gold for the. I can use gold for the highlights. I'll make it pop more. Oops. I do like this palette because I can get a lot of paint on here. I don't have to worry about it spreading as much, and it's just nice to be able to have some work room. Of course, it doesn't mean I'm going to remember what color these are. I mean, I can see what color they are, but it's like once they dry up, they actually fade out. And you're like, is that a dragon blue? Is that a sky blue? Is that a true blue? Then I have to pour it, and like, oh yeah, well, they're the same. Because they dry up different, and I don't remember what color they are based on their especially when I got multiple blues on here, and then they dry up, and then they separate. With the moisture will make the the water sometimes separate from the from the mix, and then they just they start looking kind of hard to tell. They just look weird and white, and then you have to mix them, and you're like, oh, I didn't think that was even a blue color. Now, I assume these horns are not part of her armor. So I don't... I mean, they could be, but I don't think they are. Or maybe they are. She's got horns in her head that are actual. She's got a tail. So I'm wondering if these are horns that are actually built into her body or into her armor. Kind of a weird place for horns to grow, I guess. It's on your shoulder. Trying to decide if I want to make what I want to do with her skin color yet. I'm going back and forth between black, dark brown kind of skin tone, or pale albino white. And we usually do a football pool, like I said, so I'm probably going to do something of the nature of... I should probably get that ready too before game time. Super Bowls lately have been pretty competitive, for the most part. And it's like, there was a point in history, late 80s and 90s, where Super Bowls are often blowouts. And sadly, Denver was a victim of some of those. But still, there was a large streak where they just weren't all that good. Then they started getting good. Then Denver started winning Super Bowls, and that's when Super Bowls got to get competitive again. Denver won 2 in a row, and the team before was a close game the year before. They won there too, and of course Denver's games they won, but they weren't blowouts. They kind of dominated the second game, but the first game was really close between them and Green Bay. And then there was a lot of games along the way that were actually pretty close, even in the last 20 years or so. Now Denver managed to be the victim of another blowout with Seattle, which was really bad because I live in Seattle. And I'd never heard the end of that one, and I still have people talking about it. Of course, now I can come back and just say, well, how long ago was that? I know Denver's won a Super Bowl since then. So how many has Seattle won since then? People are just going to go, but they beat you. It's like, yeah. My memory doesn't go back that far. It goes back to the last win. The last game that Denver was in. Let's talk about that. And they don't want to talk no more. because Seattle has not been back since then, or has not been back since Denver was in there. And then I can always say, well, how many wins do they have again? They have one out of 3. Denver's got a few more than that. So at least I have plenty still to brag about it over the Seattle team. It was just hard that year or two right after. And anyway. You know what? I'm gonna paint these horns. I think they're part of the outfit, not part of her body. Now the ones on her head are part of her body, so I'm gonna have to paint those different. So I gotta figure out that piece, but she's starting to come together. She's almost ready for I don't know what kind of hair she's got. She's got regular hair, I guess. She's got somewhere to band on her head. I'm just painting this little tiara on her head. Same color as I did her armor. At some point I'll have to go back and start doing highlights and stuff, but that's down the road. Well, you know what? I think that's good for now. She's not done by any means, but she's got some color on her. She's starting to look pretty, she's like almost ready for her first mission anyway. And I will probably have to stop there because I'm going to go up and see about, it's after 2 and people will start getting here pretty soon. And it's time for me to call it a day for the moment. How's my crab coming along? See here. How you doing, Krabby? You're watery. Oh, it's still pretty wet. But it's looking pretty cool. It'll be interesting when it dries up completely. Can't take this off yet. But yeah, I don't really have. I can't really cut that. I was just trying to level it out a little bit so I can. But that'll work for now. Anyway, I hope to do another scenario soon for my Frosthaven. It's the same scenario, but I'm going to do it with the Bone Shaper. And Martin was kind enough to come on and tell me that I'm just my problem is I'm simply not good, apparently. Because he said, I did it twice, and I was able to win with both Adrian and the Blink Blade, Royce. And I'm like, nice job, dude. Made me look bad. Thanks. It's not his fault, but you know, hey, if it's doable, it's doable. I just know that I've been pretty unlucky. I'd have this perfect plan, and then I have another perfect plan, and the robots would always do exactly what it took. Exactly the one or two actions they have that would totally screw up the plan. And they do it. Robots would either pummel me or run or not come in or always do whatever I can. I can never predict them. That's the problem. It's like if they do what you're hoping they'll do, it's not so bad. But they obviously did. So anyway, I'm done. So hey, if you watch a football game, have a good time. If you're with friends and family, you know, just enjoy that time that you get to spend with them. And whatever you're doing today, have a good one. Take it easy.